MegaMan of the Star Force variety has shot back into our direction again, and with new info for us to look at. And we're starting to see just how much they're pulling way more stops than even the Battle Network Legacy collection. We have new info on features we've seen before, like the screen layout, gallery, and a surprisingly new feature for the music. We're finally hearing about how they're incorporating the easy mode into the games. We get a taste of previously limited time content coming to the game. We get to see a bit more of how the PvP will turn out along with the brother system. And the game will even have in-game currency? What? Y'all get excited. Make sure y'all drinking water too. Y'all are looking good today. Go ahead and like the video if you do end up liking it, and do not subscribe. Please check out the content first. But what we have up first, I want you guys to pay attention, like really pay attention to these first few seconds, because there's something that some of y'all aren't understanding. Just pay attention to these first few seconds. All right, so here we go. Pay attention, you guys. All right, did y'all see that? Did y'all see that? Let me play it for you guys one more time. All right, look. Did y'all see it? Look, y'all, look. I am not trying to just... I want y'all to understand. They did something crazy. They say, look, they put Zerker's Ninja first and Black Ace first. I just want y'all to know. Did y'all? Some of y'all in denial, but look, Zerker Ninja comes before Zerker Sorion, and Black Ace comes before Red Joker. Y'all, it's canon. That's all I have to say. I just want you guys to understand. All right, now we have the in-game gameplay. This is cool. Fight off dangerous viruses that lurk in the wave game, the wave world. Delete your enemies using a multitude of battle cards. And when we're talking about the battle cards, this is something I hadn't thought about before. I don't know why, but the Battle Network Legacy Collection did not have this. They had HD chips, they had HD art for the chips, but it was not in game, which is weird, but they still put the font in the game. They didn't put the... Okay, anyway, I don't know why I didn't think about this the first go around, but us over here in the Star Force collection, we are getting the HD resolution chips right off the stovetop. Like, it's right off the stovetop, fresh, and it's in game, and it's also in game for the folder section as well. So when you go to your battle cards and you go to the folder and you see that nasty font, you get to see the HD resolution cards right next to them. So this is actually really cool. But what exactly does this mean? What does this imply? Like, I know that some of the Battle Network fans are probably a little bit upset. Like, this is just showing that, man, this game is going to be, this collection is going to be better than the Battle Network collection. And it's just so ironic for the lesser liked game to get the better collection. And I don't believe this is done on purpose. Of course, this is done purposefully for the sake of improving upon what came before, but it's so crazy just because they did Star Force second as a collection, which is, it makes sense. It makes sense. It is ironically getting the best treatment, the better treatment than its counterpart. It's spin-off brother counterpart, and it's just kind of crazy. I know some Battle Network fans are probably just like, man, I wish we had some of what they're doing. They could be doing more in general, of course, but this is just going to become the better collection out of the two twin brother spin-off duos, and it's just insane. And I love to see it. I love both games equally, you guys. I love Battle Network and Star Force equally, but I have a little bit of bias for Star Force just because it's a lesser liked and there's potential there and it's just not really seen, but that's just human nature, you guys, you know. But this is just so interesting because ironically it's going to have the better collection, the lesser liked game. Good gracious, we love to see it for you, Star Force. Now we move on to the layout options. I was not expecting them to really do anything with this, but they did. I was expecting it to just be like this, where they have the main screen and the one at the top, but they are giving us an option. And it kind of makes sense that they would do this because, again, they've done this before. In the 0ZX Legacy Collection, they've done this. They gave us more than one layout, and they've done that in every game too, even the ones that didn't have DS. But the reason why the ZXDX Advent is just most special in this regard is because it was the only one out of those games that was on a dual screen. So I was just interested to know what they were going to do, because in the first trailer they only showed this part where there was just a box in the corner and the bigger one was out here. And the reason why I wasn't really sure if they were going to do this is because they mentioned dynamic swapping, and I was like, okay, they're just going to make us have dynamic swapping, which is okay, but they still gave us a choice, which I think is just really cool, because on the DS, sometimes I like seeing both screens, and we won't ever be able to replicate what the DS had because it was just two screens. The layout was top and bottom, and it was cool because you could change the layout of the top screen to match the sky, or just show your brothers, or everything like that, and I enjoyed that. So just giving us a choice between it, regardless of the fact that they have dynamic swapping, is such a cool thing for them to actually just still do instead of forcing us into one, because I'm sure there are people that want to see the side by side, or maybe even if people want to stream it, they might have a cool layout set up for the second one instead of the first one, or they might just like seeing both screens vividly instead of having just a really small tiny box in the corner. Like, they might just want to see it vividly and not have to just like, because that was the experience. The original experience was seeing both screens. So either way, this is just a very, very neat compromise. And they have gone further and beyond with the, I suppose they're calling it the assist feature. And what they're showing here basically is they have two different assist features. And of course, one is Buster Max, they call it Mega Buster. But the other one they haven't really named, they just called it assist feature. And the reason why this is cool is because the other games only had one, it was their unique assist feature. It was Rookie Hunter mode, the save assist, Buster Max, they all just had one, and that was their golden boy feature. And so in a way they had like the normal easy mode duo. So they just had the normal and the easy mode, but in this game you could almost say it's like a easy normal hard mode, where the hard mode is just normal, and then Buster Max is maybe easy, and then the other assist feature being normal, which in this case looks like it is just the lowering of the encounter rate, which is actually pretty cool, but I still would have expected something like this to go into Battle Network. Like, man, but maybe these games were just so egregious in that aspect that they just had to put it in there, or it was one of those things where they're like, oh man, we could have put that in Battle Network, let's put it in Star Force. So it's so interesting. This is just, it's ending up to turn out the better of the two, and it's just in terms of how much they're putting into the collection itself. So this is really cool. But let me know, you guys, if I guess the first and second game, what are the stats, what are the statistics behind how bad the encounter rates were? I don't remember 3 having bad encounter rates. I kind of remember 2 having bad encounter rates. I was mostly stressed in the moo areas of the air, of the wave world. I was mostly stressed in those areas because the maze, I was stressed to get into encounter there because I might forget where to turn. And then the moo areas, they were just strong. They were strong enemies. And so I don't remember it being so bad until those parts. But it might be just so egregious that they decided to put this in. So it's cool either way. You get your Buster Max. You can do that 280 damage. Yeah. It's just all right. We have 2 assist modes. So this is cool. It's like changing the difficulty. Now, it does look like we're getting limited time content coming back to the game. This is actually really cool because, of course, there is no way for us to go back when these events were happening and these toys were coming out, that for us to be able to get these cards. So this wasn't something I was expecting at all. I wasn't expecting to get the limited time event cards or anything like that, because in Battle Network they didn't give us the Solar Boy Django thing from Battle Network 5. I mean, they had the Solar Boy section in 6, but that was like a part of the Japanese version already, so it wasn't something we were getting as an event. They weren't putting in that content in the Battle Network, so I wonder how far this is going to go. Like, is it going to give us the little story events that came with them, if they did come with them? Because I know nothing about them. I'm like a noob. I'm a fresh born baby on this stuff. I know nothing about the actual event cards. This is the first time I'm actually ever hearing of them. So I wonder if they will include those, because if they do, goodness, that is just going to be so cool. But even after this though, they still didn't really go into whether or not we're going to be receiving the best of both worlds when we're talking about the games themselves and the Japanese versions of the game. We are not really sure just yet. What I was hoping for is that they're going to tell us if we're going to have the Japanese version of the game, because let me tell you guys something. There's something about Star Force 3, right? I know a lot of you will know, a lot of you will understand. You were out there in them streets during this time, but there was something horrible going around on the streets of Star Force 3, and that was Gemini's. Gemini Noise was out there destroying folks on the online for anywhere outside of Japan. But in the Japanese version, which I play to this day, we use the Japanese version of the game because it has the NKG, the Battle Network's equivalent to the Navicus program, and it allows for that to not be the case and makes it so that other noises are a little bit more strong, but in general it's still a little bit more balanced for everyone. Like, we don't have just one noise out there running the entire courthouse. Like, it was bad. I know you guys who have played know exactly what I'm talking about, but I hope that is something that they do, but it has not been confirmed yet. They are only telling us about the special events and the stuff that they would get with the toys and things like that. So this is going to be super cool, but I need to know. We'll find out eventually for sure. And you can play against other versions of the game. Is this a true statement? No. You cannot play against different versions of the game. I know I saw some comments talking about how, oh, we can play against the different versions. No, this is not very likely. It's very unrealistic that they would do this, because the game, it would be so unbalanced if this was the case. Like, if they allowed us to play MegaMan Star Force 1 like Leo versus MegaMan Star Force 3 Red Joker or something like that, it would be so unbalanced. Like, if they did do that, then there is no question. There is no question in the form of how much content and effort that they're putting in the game. It would be no question as to which one that has the most and what's better. But no, it would only make sense that these would be like your favorite titles. Like, hey, MegaMan Star Force is my favorite game. MegaMan Star Force 3 is my favorite game. So that seems to be more of the realistic option. And it's really sent home here too at the win screen, because it basically, this person is ranking up in MegaMan Star Force 2. So if this was, it just makes sense that they're specifying it right here. Like, MegaMan Star Force 2 wasn't even mentioned, but of course they're using a win screen from MegaMan Star Force 2 instead of MegaMan Star Force 1 or 3. This just has to be them playing MegaMan Star Force 2, and maybe each of their favorites was MegaMan Star Force 1 and MegaMan Star Force 3. Of course, this could be a win screen from any other point, but they made it a point here to show all three games in a different sense, and each of them have their favorites listed, and then here they were playing in Star Force 2 just hypothetically. But that's why it's sent home a little bit more here, because it just would not be realistic for them to let us play between versions. Also, there are battle points. Now, in the previous trailer, we did see the battle points in the Japanese version of the trailer. It just said BP at the top. And of course, with context clues, anyone could figure out that there are battle points. I didn't think about it at the time, but here they're actually showing them tally up. So what exactly could the battle points even be used for? Well, what I think is, since they didn't even, again, show us any custom mugshots or anything like that, I believe this has to be for buying customized options And I wish they would just go to the brother screen and show us, but they haven't gone to the brother screen. But it just makes sense at this point that it seems like you will be able to purchase customized options, which this is actually, I think, really good, because in my previous video I was talking about mugshots, how we might not get the custom mugshots, but I think that the next best option for them to do, if they're deciding to get rid of custom altogether, is that if they do that, give us variety. And if they're giving us points, to buy things for online customization, then that would be good, because maybe that implies that we do have a good batch to pull from. So that's just going to be really cool, because that just gives us almost the best of both worlds. But what other things do you guys think that they might even use the battle points for? Or does this even leave possibility for adding more online content in the future? Now, I really highly doubt this, because again, Capcom has not shown that they're trying to put an enormous amount of effort in these collections, but if they did, the implications are kind of crazy, because in some way, shape, or form it will become a little bit of a live service, not really in the sense of a big time, but like maybe they give us more customization over time. But I just highly doubt that, because the only reason why I'm thinking this way is because of the fact that you're going to keep getting battle points the more that you rank up, the more that you play. And I assume that you're going to want to spend it on something. So either there's just going to be a ton of things to buy just from the get-go, or maybe they will sprinkle a little in something over time. But this is just highly doubted, very much so. Like, or it just could be for street cred. I have no idea. Battle points just could be street cred, and it could just be like, hey, this person has battled a lot, hence battle points. But I don't see them doing that. I feel like they would let us buy customizable options, but who knows? I mean, it's just very curious. And right here, we can legit form up to 100 brother bonds. So this is, of course, it was kind of already confirmed, because if you go to the Japanese version of this, you will see, if you change it to English, it will say brothers right there. So of course it's brothers, but you can get 100. So what? That doesn't make sense. But at the same time, I can see why they would do it. It just has not been confirmed just yet, because my theory was that you're gonna have up to how many ever brothers you want, up to 100, right? But you get to choose 6 of those brothers from your 100 online brothers to choose as your in-game brothers, or for your PvP, like in-game for PvP and solo, right? For the sake of gaining up the link power and whatnot. But also, the main thing I was concerned about was having the different transformations, because if you can have up to 100 brothers, this is very good, especially for Star Force 3, because you have so many different noises you can transform into. And instead of being in that neighborhood where you have, at the very most, have up to 6 brothers, if you're lucky, if you had 6 neighbors in your neighborhood, to have up to 6. But this is good, because back then, even if you had 6 people in your neighborhood, what if they're all wolf noise? So you couldn't even be any other noise or multi-noise outside of wolf noise and something else. So if you wanted to be Libra, if you wanted to be Virgo, if you wanted to be Gemini, if you want to be Corvus, you would just still have to be your noise and wolf noise. And so in this scenario, it makes it so that there's gonna be there has to be variety in your 100 brothers. You're gonna have to be able to, you're gonna have an option to have more than what you normally would be in this situation, in the past, I suppose. Because if you can pull from the 100 and you can say, I want this and this and that as my 6 brothers, so then I can transform into whatever and basically set up what my transformations are gonna be based off of my build and everything like that. That would just be cool. The only other thing that I could think of that they would be doing in this sense is that you have up to 100 online brothers, but the only ones who get to be your in-game brothers or for PvP would be your friends that are on your actual console. I hope it's not that one, because of course I do like the thought of having, like, that was the point of the brother band system. It was like, connect with the people around you, right? But of course we're in a different time, unfortunately. But at the same time, a lot of us do talk online, so it would be cool just to be able to have those options for street cred opportunities, or just, you know, just showing you have brothers, or if you're wanting to make a good build to just be able to have the brothers that you would want to transform into. That would be really good. But guys, look, we also got it. I knew they were gonna do it. I knew it. I knew they were gonna do it. We have been waiting for this. We have been waiting for this. The resolution filter change in real time. Look, guys, we've been waiting for this. It finally did it. I knew they were gonna do it. The shwee! Like whenever they freeze time and they just show the change happening IRL or IRT. Like it's just, it's what we've been waiting for, you guys. And of course it's already a given, but there is the gallery. So the gallery, of course, it says it's gonna have over 1,000 images for us to peruse. And this is just a me thing, but I love this because I've hardly seen any concept art for Star Force. I don't have any of the complete, I don't have the complete works for it. I love referencing any type of MegaMan art because I just like to draw, and you people who like to draw will like this too. So it's just gonna be really cool because whenever I need to have reference for like a picture where I have no idea what they would look like in this pose, it's nice to have them there so that you can figure out how you're gonna draw them. And it's just cool. I really like having the gallery. It's not a bad thing. Of course, this is just no surprise whatsoever, but again, the same is going to be for the music. We are not going to be surprised by the music really, because the music again has been in different games and they've had revisions, which it has been confirmed right here that we're going to have revisions of the songs. But do you see that it's going to be let me just tell you what it shows on the screen. But that's not all. Enjoy new versions of favorite tracks. Freely choose between versions to listen to as you play. Lord, the Battle Network didn't even have this. Part of me almost feels sad, but not sad because, you know, Star Force doesn't get as much love. But for them to do that, it's so cool. I love the fact that that they have it so that you can listen between versions. Now, of course, whether those versions are going to be good or even worth your time, I suppose, because sometimes you don't like remixes, sometimes you don't, but sometimes people do. And it's the same with the filter, the same with the high resolution filter. There's someone that likes it. So that's why I appreciate that the option is just always there. And in this case, that is cool as well. So if you want to switch it up and just keep things fresh, you can. And I think that that's insane. It's so cool. We just love seeing Star Force get the love. I just tell you what. But of course, even after all of that, we still don't have a release date. It's still going to be 2026, and that's okay because it's not like we need it right now. I'm just hoping that it's going to be earlier in the year because it would be really cool to have it that early. But the reason why I wasn't thinking that it was gonna be super early was because of the fact that whenever they showed the first trailer, it was just in Japan. So why did they do that? It could have just been because, you know, hey, Americans or anyone outside of Japan, they want to see something else. They want to see something cool. They want to see more action. They don't want to see something like this. It could have been that, or it just could have been the fact that maybe the localization hadn't been done yet. So they're like, hey, maybe we shouldn't do it yet if you guys don't have an English trailer or anything like that yet, or English words or something. I don't know. But that was another reason as to why I was thinking that maybe the game wouldn't come out that early in the year, because if they didn't have the English localization just yet, then maybe the game isn't as early on as or later on than we thought. So maybe it needs to be later in the year, in the mid-year, or, you know, closer to the end of next year, which hopefully it's not. But I'm hoping that it comes before the MomoCon next year. I am really hoping that it does. And I was talking to Demi about this. It would be so cool to have an event for Star Force at MomoCon, just like we've had other MegaMan events and the other MomoCon that I went to with Demi. So I would just really love for that, because man, we would have so much fun. But that's in May, usually the end of May. But I think that if it was in May, they wouldn't have had any qualms about telling us when it was coming out. So I think that May is probably a good time, especially since some of their games that they showed in the online program featuring the Tokyo Game Show games shown there, I think that they would have definitely shown us if it was in May or sometime around then, because they already announced the game that was a little earlier on in the year. So we might not be seeing it till a little later next year, but you know, that's all good. And speaking of the Tokyo Game Showcase, I am going to be streaming that. It's going to be Saturday evening, 9 p.m. EST. So I will be streaming that, and we get to see a little bit more maybe from the demo, because they're having a stage event thing, which is going to be really cool. I'm excited for that. So hey, yeah, look forward to that, you guys. I will be streaming it. So what are you guys excited about? Let me know in the comments, because we definitely have a lot to talk about now, even with a little bit more of information that we've gotten. But take care of yourselves and each other. Bye.